Hey, thanks for joining us. We've got a lot to get to in this video. We're going to complete the Transom transformation or cockpit transformation. Here are some images from the first video in this 2-video series. If you haven't had a chance yet, I suggest you check it out. It's only 3 minutes, but it covers where the idea came from and how we got to this point. We removed a bunch of the balsa core and filled in with chopped mat and kitty hair to make the surface around all edges solid. We also made a template to determine how high we're going to have to raise the deck. I really wanted it to feel natural when walking from the deck to the platform, and raising the deck was the only option here. After lots of planning and second-guessing myself, I was finally comfortable enough to start making up templates to outline the new deck height. I used this string reinforced plastic I purchased on Amazon. I'll leave a link. It made pretty quick work for templates, and I also used it in a bunch of other steps in this project. As usual, I'll let the photos and videos do most of the talking, and I'll jump in where I feel explanation would be helpful. Leave a comment on any questions you have or anything I grazed over too quick. I used Kusa board for any of the permanent parts, and use Total Boat's 2-part expansion foam. They call it structural foam. It's 6 pounds per square foot. Stuff worked out really well. Very, very solid feeling without the 2 layers of fiberglass. After a lot of filling and sanding and filling again, finally put down the first coat of fiberglass over the deck, and now it was time to jump over to this gunnel supports, again using Kusa board. Once that was in place, it was time to jump back into Fusion and start designing the stainless steel supports. These are not only going to help strengthen the gunnel, they'll also act as our tie-in point to support the swim platform. At this point, we removed the swim platform, or transom, and set it up in the driveway. I had a lot of concerns about the durability, knowing there's going to be any number of people standing, climbing, and jumping off of it. I hope the route I went was overkill. I started with aluminum blocks on either side and ran stainless steel rod from one end to the other. Also added lots of Kusa board and fiberglass. Oh, and added a piece of aluminum to the edge just for good measure. After we mounted the Kusa board on the top, I leaned it against the wall and drilled holes in the center so I could pour the expansion foam. With it leaned against the wall, the expansion foam would fall down to the narrowest corners and expand towards the center. Once it started overflowing, I let it sit for a few more minutes, flipped it over, and did the same thing on the other side. Now things are getting exciting. It's finally time to reunite the transom to the boat. The project is really starting to come together, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now that it was remounted, I was able to get exact measurements on the hinging arms that are going to hold the platform in the down position, so I jumped back into Fusion, made a quick design, and threw it on the mill. Finally finished up the filling, sanding, priming, more sanding, and painting. The day finally came. It was time to launch the boat. I felt like a kid on Christmas. The paint wasn't perfect. There are a lot of imperfections and things that I can touch up next year, but all in all, this project's coming out better than I imagined. Now that it's back in the water, we were able to take it for a bay test and make sure there were no fatal flaws to the design. Everything worked out well. So we used the string reinforced plastic to make up templates and installed the foam flooring. Came out fantastic. I'll have to get back to you in a few years on its longevity, but for the price, it is really sharp looking. I'll leave a link in the description. Also leave a link for most of the Total Boat products I used. I used Total Boat and a few West System products. I'm not an expert on this. I just wanted to share my experience with all of you. I hope this is helpful. We finally mounted the last couple of pieces of hardware, like the latches that hold the hinges in and actually support the transom from falling down when we're underway. Mounting them to the arms, when they're hinged up like that, the transom should be able to withstand a wave coming over the back of the boat, and all of the force will be placed on the stainless steel hinges and not the lever itself.